what's up, coffee friends? Eric here. Today we're going to be talking about the Casabrews Neutron Pro. Now this is actually a very exciting machine. It bills itself as a dual boiler, and the sticker price on Amazon is about $500 and only $400 on Casabrews' actual direct website. Now I'm actually really excited about this machine, and I feel like it has the potential to change the world of home espresso. Now before we get started, please subscribe, please like, please comment. Small channel, trying to grow, really helps me out a lot. And if anything in this video, any of the tools, any of the things that I use or talk about interest you, you can buy them through affiliate links down below. That will help me out. It helps me earn a little bit of money at no cost to you, and also helps me buy more equipment to make videos with. So thank you. Before we get started, I do also want to mention that I did not pay for this machine. I requested it from Casabrews. They said I'd like to make a video about this. I'm very curious about a dual boiler that costs $500, and they sent it to me. There's no strings attached. I don't have to show them this video before I make it. I don't have to get approval. I don't have to say any talking points. So that's that, but I want to let you all know. This machine here is advertised as a dual boiler. Now it's actually a dual thermoblock. So boiler means heating system. Now a traditional boiler is actually a boiler. It's a heating container that is full of hot water or steam or both. This here has a thermoblock system. That means it's an instant heating system. It's literally a coil that the water runs through and gets heated, flash heated on demand. Some people are real purists about boilers versus thermoblocks. I personally do not feel like thermoblocks are a bad thing. After testing all sorts of espresso machines, especially home espresso equipment, maybe there are some advantages one way or the other, depending on which camp you land in. But I feel like when it comes to the starter kit, the entry-level espresso world, thermoblocks are great machines, and I feel like they are going to be getting better and better all the time, and this is going to be the future of espresso. So you can't fight thermoblocks, they're coming for you. One of the negatives that people like to point out about thermoblocks is they have less steaming power than a boiler. That is true, they do steam slower than a traditional boiler-styled espresso machine, but they also give you infinite steaming time. Basically, as long as there is water in your tank, you can keep steaming and steaming and steaming. There is no chance that you're gonna run out of steam. So, you know, like I mentioned, this machine sells for $500 on Amazon, but $400 on Casabrews' website. So this is a very inexpensive machine for what it is claiming to do. And I just want to, that's really exciting actually. I tend to be wary of less expensive espresso machines, or I have been. Though this is a low price tag, I'm not as wary. I almost feel like Casabrews is trying to put their name on the map, trying to get noticed with this price tag, because this feels like it's worth a little bit more than that. It's not a perfect machine, and we're gonna get into that, but I just wanna say that it is a very affordable espresso machine. So it has a heating element for brewing, it has a heating element for steaming and hot water, but it actually has a third heating element, and this is actually really cool. It has a heating element for the group head. So the group head is heated, and it will heat up your portafilter. Keeping things hot is important. A lot of people have problems with thermoblocks because they say the group head is not heated, and therefore you're losing temperature. This guy has a heated group head. That's a really, really nice feature. You actually have 3 heating elements in here, which is like a little wild. Because of all the heating elements, it does have a relatively slow heat up time. When you turn this thing on, it's going to say warming up. It takes a good 2 minutes to warm up. So what you're gonna wanna do is, though 2 minutes is not a long time, you actually want more than that. You wanna, when you wake up in the morning, you wanna get your portafilter, you wanna stick it in there, you wanna turn your machine on, let it heat up, let it get that group head hot, let it get that portafilter hot, and you're gonna go brush your teeth or whatever. And then after you brush your teeth, you come back and things are nice and hot and ready to go. 2 minutes is not a long time, but I actually would say, like, give it even longer than that. Get everything nice and hot up here. Let it heat up that portafilter. Something that's kind of cool is that though Casabrews is like they're a newcomer to the espresso space relatively, they're very inexpensive. You know, that might seem suspect to some people, I understand that. They are really trying to let people know that the importance of the espresso basics. This thing was covered with stickers when I opened it, which, you know, it felt like a showroom model almost. I don't really like stickers on the machine. I think it's annoying, but you know, they have a lot of things they want people to make sure they do. Like they had this right on the steam wand. It says like, wipe down your steam wand after you're done steaming milk, flush it out, keep it clean, important. It also had this on the espresso machine. Number one that I want to point out is it says preheat the machine, preheat everything before extraction. This is a complaint as someone who sold espresso machines for a while. People are always saying that things don't get hot enough. It's because you're running your coffee into a cold cup. You're putting hot espresso into a cold mug, yeah, it's gonna get colder. You're putting hot milk into a cold mug, yeah, it's gonna get colder. So they're really letting you know, like, yeah, heat everything up. It's important to heat things up. That's the whole point of this machine, keep things hot. And this comes up time and time again in the instructions, is just like preheat things, keep things hot. I like that they're trying to make sure people know that that is an important part of making espresso. All right. What do you get in the box? Well, of course you get this espresso machine. You get this portafilter that is an actual upgrade from the Ultra. This is a much sturdier feeling handle, a lot more weight to it, no plastic at all. It's got that nice little rubber pad on there for tamping, so if you don't have a tamping pad, you don't mar up your countertops. Also, not only is the portafilter more sturdy and better built, it is also a professional size 58mm portafilter, which a lot of people do like. Whether that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to give you better extraction than a smaller portafilter, that's kind of a myth, but a lot of people do like that because it fits all their accessories, so it does give you a professional size portafilter. It comes with a single and double regular basket and a single and double pressurized basket. We don't really need pressurized baskets, right guys? But anyway, it comes with 4 baskets. It comes with a nice tamper, a real nice tamper that is actually a calibrated tamper, so that you can keep your tamps nice and straight and you cannot over tamp, you cannot under tamp. I like this tamper. It's super nice, it's super sweet. You also get the standard scoop that comes with every espresso machine ever. We don't need scoops. It comes with a nice little brush for cleaning out around the inside of your group head, which is important. And it comes with a little pokey thingy for poking the holes in your steam wand. So, those are the accessories that it comes with. Oh, it also comes with a steaming pitcher that is specifically designed for this machine. It's nothing too fancy, but it has some measurement information on the inside that is important to how the steaming system works in this machine. This is a hefty machine. She's a big girl. It is about 13.5 inches tall, it is about 13 inches deep, and it is about 11.3 inches wide, and it weighs 20 pounds. This has a lot of stuff inside, and it shows. It is a heavy machine. Now, let's go over the features of this machine, like what makes this machine do its thing. Like I mentioned, it's got the dual heating system, which will allow you to pull shots and steam milk simultaneously, or pull shots and dispense hot water simultaneously, which is very cool. Adjustable temperatures. Now, it's not adjustable to the degree. It's kind of like the Breville system, where it's like a high, medium, and low. You have, so you've got that high temperature for your light roasts, you got that low temperature for your dark roasts, and that medium temperature for most medium roast coffees. You also have an adjustable temperature for the steam. Now you might ask about the steam system, like why does it have adjustable temperature there? That is because the steam wand has a thermometer built into it that will automatically stop the steam wand when it gets to a temperature that you set it at. It also has, as far as the water tank, it has a big old removable water tank that fits 91 ounces of water in there, so very, very big tank. One thing that it has that's very different is it has an Americano button. So that means you can hit the Americano button and you will run your shots, and while it's running your shots, it will dispense hot water into your cup while your shots are running. Because of that dual heating system, it can do that. That's a super cool feature. I think what they're trying to do here is you have a lot of people who are new to espresso and really are just learning what espresso is versus what coffee is. And sometimes they'll say things like, well, does it make coffee too? And as someone who worked with people who are learning about espresso machines for a while, the best answer to that is you cannot make coffee on an espresso machine, but you can make an Americano. This makes that easy for you if you have a espresso drinker or a cappuccino drinker and an Americano drinker in your family or in your household. It's cool. It's a really cool feature. It has an auto steaming system on there that's kind of like the Breville Bambino Plus, where it's more about like it's going to automatically steam. It's going to shut off when it reaches a temperature. How you position the steaming pitcher is how you're going to get your froth level. Just like the Bambino Plus, it also allows you to manually steam if you want to. That is a weak point in this machine. It's not great for manual steaming, but I feel like if you give yourself time to learn this machine, you probably can do a decent job. I'm still figuring it out. So it does have a 3-way solenoid valve, which is great. That means that the water can flow more than one direction, which means after you pull a shot or steam milk, a little bit of excess water can be flushed into the drip tray, which keeps the internals a little bit cleaner, a little less pressure built up in there. It does not have an overpressure valve, and that is one weak point of this machine, no OVP. But for this price, I really can't complain. Speaking of OVPs, speaking of pressure, it does give you a pressure readout. It does not have a gauge on the front of it, but it does give you a digital pressure readout, and that is smart. It's a great way to let you know if you are in the right pressure range. They do mention the right pressure range in the instructions, and so you can see if your shots are running at like 9 bars, 10 bars, 11, wherever they're at. It's a good indicator of how your espresso is dialed in. It's also good because if you see that pressure getting up high, you do not want to burn out that pump. You do not want to burst anything in this machine. You're going to know to like cancel that shot. In addition to that cool pressure reading that it has on the digital display, it also has a built-in timer, which is always nice for espresso nerds to have. You want to be timing your shots, that's good. It does appear to have some kind of pre-infusion, though it's very brief pre-infusion, about 5 seconds. I don't really feel like it does much, but it is there. It's not just flooding the shots at full pressure right away. Of course, you've got your programmable shot times. That's good, and you can program your single and your double. It does not have a backflush setting, and that is something that I like to see in higher end espresso machines. I like to know that you can actually do a thorough internal cleaning from the front instead of having to do a descaling from the back. It's just a simpler and easier way to clean your machine, take care of your machine. It does have a flush setting though, which I do need some clarification on, but I believe it flushes things out a little bit more thoroughly than just running the regular, just pressing the double shot button. It also, of course, has a descale setting, which is great, and they recommend you descale it about once a month. I think descaling is a great way to keep your machine clean. Whether or not you have, perfect water or not, whether or not you want to use the descaling solution, I think just like, flushing everything out, running the machine through its paces, letting things get flushed out from every single dispensing unit, it's a good way to keep your machine healthy, so that's good to have. The first time you turn on this machine, the very first time you turn on the machine, it's going to flush itself. It's going to flush out the system, and that is a little surprising if you haven't read the instructions and you're like, what's going on? But it just wants to make sure that it runs some hot water through everything before you actually start using it, flush out the brand new hardware. So it only does that if you reset the factory settings or if it's brand new, but it does that. That was surprising. So let's talk about that steam wand. The steam wand, like I said, is a automatic steaming kind of thing. It's a big dookie steam wand. It has a little temperature probe sticking out the bottom of it. It has a 3-hole tip. It doesn't have a lot of articulation, so it's not a perfect steam wand, but you can steam milk and pull shots at the same time. That's kind of cool. And the automatic steaming thing, if you do have your pitcher set up on the right angle, you do actually get a decent auto steam. So it's kind of cool, and I do know it's possible to steam good texture on this machine. Our god of steaming, our Lance Sama, he can steam milk on anything to perfect texture. I've never been the best at latte art. I can get decent texture on this thing. That is a weak point. There's no way around it. The steam wand is not, if you are a latte artist, if you're the person who's all about latte art, you're not gonna love this steam wand. So since we're talking about the steam wand, I'm just gonna go through the other negatives of noticing this machine in my month or so of use on this. I would say that the steam wand is the biggest negative. It's definitely not designed for coffee people. And just like other Casabrews machines, everything is a little stiff when you first open it. The steam wand's really stiff. This little hot water dispenser here, the independent hot water dispenser, is a little stiff. Once you start moving things around, they do get a bit looser, but you need to work this machine through its paces. It does need some breaking in. I don't know if this is a negative or a positive. If you want it to auto steam cappuccino milk for you, it really does recommend you do about 5 ounces of milk, and it has this nice little indicator in the pitcher where you're going to fill it up, and you're just going to do about 1 cappuccino's worth at a time. That's just because of the way the steam wand is. It needs to be resting just where it's barely in the milk, and that is the perfect level for that. Because the steam wand doesn't come out too far, it's hard for, if you're manually steaming milk, to get some good aeration unless you have only a little bit in the pitcher. So you're not going to be doing multiple drinks in one pitcher. That's not something most people do anyway. Another negative about the steam wand is it just really bakes on the milk there. It just really, no matter how quickly you wipe it off, it just gets a lot of milk baked onto the steam wand. With whole milk, It might not do the same thing with alternative milks or lower fat milks, but with whole milk, it just really gets cruddy fast. You're gonna have to really be on top of it and really wipe it down on the bottom, especially really well every time. This machine is really good about protecting itself. It will give you an error screen if it feels like anything is going wrong. If the pressure is too high, if you're running low on water, and also if you switch between the steam and the hot water too quick, it will give you an error. It will say like E03, I think. And I've had that happen to me a couple times where I wasn't really paying attention, turned off the steam and went too fast. It was no big deal. I just turned everything off, made sure the steam setting was on off, turned the machine off, turned it back on, then flushed it, and it was fine. But sometimes you're gonna get errors, and that's because the machine is just like, whoa, I don't like what you're doing here. I don't like that. And it just doesn't want to break itself. So just be aware of that. All in all, I will say this is a very exciting machine. There's a lot of things I love about it. I love that the group head is heated. I love that it, once it heats up for that 2 minutes, you're basically good to go. You can be pulling shots, steaming milk. As someone who worked in a cafe for years and years, especially a busy cafe, to me, not being able to steam milk and pull shots at the same time is just like, oh. And I know that's silly, it doesn't matter that much. But for me, for my workflow, for how I grew up doing things in the coffee world, I just love that. So these are all positives about the machine. The accessories it comes with are great. The adjustable temperatures, the programmability, all in all, really cool machine, really exciting and really ambitious. That Americano setting is really cool. You can't dial it in as much as you'd like to as far as the volumes and stuff like that, or at least I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but it is a cool feature. I mentioned at the top of the video that I feel like this machine could change home espresso, and I'm serious. If they would just tweak one or two things, this would be probably one of the most sought after home espresso machines on the market. Like I really believe that. And I think the one thing, this is what I want from Casabrews. I want Casabrews to like watch this video, and then I want them to immediately do these things. So first thing I want them to do is to make a V2 of this exact machine. Don't change anything, don't change the price, just make a V2 and switch out this steam wand. We don't need the temperature probe. We don't need the auto steaming. I just want a fully articulate 3-hole steam wand, and I want it to be, since you already are, charging built into the price, you already have like this temperature probe technology. If you could make it double insulated so it's cool touch, so that not only is there no danger of burning yourself, but also so that it doesn't get as much milk on, stuck to it. That would be the ultimate. Sell it for the same price, $500, just with a different steam wand. That would be so nice. This would be a machine that this would be the coolest machine. So go on Casabrews, do that right now, get that into production. You're gonna be millionaires. And if you guys wanna, cut me a check for like, hey, as an advisor, I'll take it. Sure, why not? Here's what I want, Casabrews. Here's the other big ask. I want you to make a pro version of the Neutron Pro. I want to make a professional version for the coffee nerds out there. So we're gonna do that steam wand thing that I just mentioned. We're gonna put on a nice, fully articulate, cool touch, 3-hole tip steam wand on there. Then we're gonna throw in an OVP in here, all right? This is gonna make it a little bit more expensive. We're gonna throw an OVP in there so we're not worried about burning out the pump or anything like that. We're going to then, for that temperature adjustment, we're gonna let people adjust the temperature in degrees. It's not gonna be just a high, medium, and low. It's going to be, you can adjust the degrees, and so it's gonna have a PID with a temperature that you can set. And if you do those three things, sell the coffee nerd version of this machine, you can sell that thing for $100 more, maybe even $200 more. Think about it. Would you buy a dual heating system machine with adjustable temperature to the degree, a 3-way solenoid valve, an overpressure valve, and a fully articulate great steam wand, and a heated group head for $600, $700? I think a lot of us would. So those are my big asks to Casabrews. These are 2 ideas. They're free. You can have the ideas for free, but of course, if you want to just give me a little advisor check after that, that's okay too. All right. Okay, so the big question, is this machine worth it? Is the machine worth $500, $400? Heck yeah, absolutely. Does everybody want this machine? That's a different question. But for the technology you're getting, the performance you're getting, the features you're getting, I mean, you can buy this thing when it's not on sale, and like Amazon stuff is always on sale, but you can buy this thing directly from Casabrews at any time for $400, and you're gonna have a machine that not only does it give you all the information to make espresso for people who are new to it, and helps them with a lot of like little handy hints, but it's a high performing machine. It is a good machine. It can pull great shots. So is it worth it? Totally. I mean, this is very inexpensive. So far in my month of using it, it's been really, really good. I do, of course, say a caveat for all newer brands, all less expensive brands compared to other well-established brands. We don't know the longevity of the brand. We don't know if parts are gonna be easy to find, so please take this with a grain of salt. One thing that I love about Breville's and DeLonghi's and things like that have been around forever and have earned our trust is that you can find parts to fix these machines. Casabrews, I hope you get there, but right now you're still pretty new, you're still pretty young. I just want to let that out there. So, you know, consider that when you're buying things. And that kind of gets into the question, who is this for? And that's a real hard question for me to answer. I think it's for busy people. It has all the information you need as a beginner, but it doesn't have that many training wheels besides the auto steaming. You still have to do all the work, but it does really kind of hammer in the importance of temperature, the importance of proper tamping, the importance of pressure, all these things. Like it tells you and it shows you and it gives you tools to make it like right there for you. So it is leaning towards someone who's more of a beginner. It's also leaning towards someone who's interested in learning. But it seems like it's more for someone who is busy and doesn't have a lot of time every morning to be making the perfect crafted espresso. So with that auto steam feature, with things being hot and you can dispense water at the same time as your espresso, you can make your Americano at one touch of a button, you can be steaming milk while you're getting your shots ready and pulling your shot at the same time. This is for a busy person. This is for someone who probably really likes espresso, really likes coffee, wants to be able to do it at home, but isn't necessarily looking for a hobby. They're not going to be watching YouTube videos about espresso every day like some of us are. It's got a lot going on. Really hard for me to put like into a box who this machine is for though. It's cool though, and I really think it has a lot of potential. I do really respect what Casabrews is trying to do here. They're trying to bring more people to the table. They're trying to give people technology that is usually reserved for much, much more expensive machines. We're trying to train new baristas here. We're trying to teach them all the importance of all the different dynamics of espresso and really just make it like right in front of them. So I can respect I can really respect what they're doing there. Okay, this machine has so much potential. I'm pretty into it. I'm excited to see if they put out a V2. Come on, you can do it. So overall, very, very exciting machine. Not perfect, but really, really big step in a direction that I can see so many machines coming out in the next few years that are really going to make us rethink what that entry-level espresso machine looks like. And I think this is the first one to take that big step. So we just got to change a couple little things, and then coffee nerds, man, the game is going to change. That's all for today. Once again, subscribe, helps me out big time. Likes, comments, great. If you are interested in anything I talked in the video, commission earned by affiliate links, helps me buy more gear to review. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Bye-bye.